Hello, this is Go to welcome back to Feed the Beast Interactions. Also, my microphone is buried under a bunch of stuff. There we go, fix that. Last time we set up the infinity dust automation as well as whatever we did over here. I did get enough infinity dust to make a nightmare chicken, so I went ahead and made that. And then the dust got a little jammed. I'll just show that really quick and what I did to fix it. So the translocator I had put down here was not working before. So I just changed it to a item conduit. And yeah, our drawers over here are now completely full of greens of infinity. So we don't really need any more at the moment. Yeah, we can use this for crafting some stuff, I guess. I will be taking just a few stacks of this back to my base to have it, I guess. But really quickly, I did want to go in here and also show on the top layer, I ended up doing this to suppress Ender teleportation. So you can technically, I guess I should have also put it up here, huh? Anyways, you can technically suppress the teleportation if you, what's it called? If you use something called it's one of the Ender IO obelisks. This one, the inhibitor obelisk. You can use this to suppress, Ender teleportation, but, this needs something called the soul binder, which we could make. The soul binder's not the problem. The problem is you need an Enderman soul, so I would need to get a soul vial, and it was just like, that's a lot of stuff to run around and do, so I didn't end up doing that. I did, however, bring a wireless transmitter and a wireless receiver, because there's a slight problem over here, so wanted to address that. As you can see here, there's some guests that have moved into our our bottom of our cube here, so I wanted to actually break open the floor here and address that, but before I do that, I want to, not drowned. Before I do that, I want to actually get in there and turn off the spawner. So before I fall out of the world here and die, let me get out of there. Let me grab some shards so I can heal, just in case I take some damage in there. Gonna need my rod of elevation to get in there, and then should be sufficient. Okay. And I have my transmitter on this hotkey just as a yep, just in case if I fall and my jumping boots aren't working for some reason. Alright, to make sure my jumping boots are working, let me hit the ground. Alright, now I think they should be good. So if I fall out of the water, I could still jump, right? Yeah. Alright, let's warp up. Oh, didn't actually put me in there. Let me try again. I might not have been centered enough for that. There we go. Alright, just gonna break the floor in here. Which was all silverfish. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. 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 That's horrifying. The entire floor had been infested with silverfish. Alright, let me go ahead and set that it requires redstone to be activated. This is horrifying. Oh my goodness. Can they just, like... Can I get some blocks, maybe, and they just, like, climb up on top of the blocks and let the ritual take care of them? Like, hey, would you like to walk up here, actually, though? Okay, well, we got most of them, so I guess kind of a moot point at that point now. Okay, so I wanted to do a couple things in here. I want to put a receiver down here so we can actually have this be switch controlled. Ah, slime out of nowhere. Okay, okay. Let's put a receiver down here. I'm gonna bind that transmitter to it. And then now I can go ahead and fill in the floor here with... I guess I want silverfish proof block, so not cobblestone. So just gonna fill it in with dirt, I suppose. Wow, can you guys, like, leave me alone for, like, 3 seconds? Oh my gosh. So we know that, anything above this line right here will be in range for the ritual, so we can go ahead and... There we go, this is all filled in now. Put this away, put that away. And I think we're okay on the healing shards now. Alright, let's go up here, and then I'm going to put a... Oh, there's a lot of experience up above. I don't think we can get that, unfortunately. How did the experience even get up there? I'm not too sure. Anyways, we can go ahead and put this in here somewhere. Let me go out, because I did move our entrance point here. Let me just move it near our entrance point here. So I'm just going to have this right here. And when I want to turn this back on, if I need to turn it back on, I can just come here and flip the switch. So, alright. That is going to be off for the time being. I have replaced this to use astral eggs, nightmare eggs instead of the grains. This is where I put the nightmare chicken, by the way. He's just chilling here in the back. Anywho, let me grab some grains of infinity just to take with me. And then we are done with that farm, probably for the foreseeable future, but if we end up needing a bunch of grains of infinity in the future, then we can just turn it back on. Alright, what I wanted to do today is I wanted to do some progression pushing towards the actual things that we need to do here. So the next kind of point of progression we needed to do is actually to get Radon so we can get quantumized, because we need that to make fusion crafters, and we need fusion crafter to make the end rod, which is what we need to get to the end. Yep, there it is. We're also going to need some EV circuits, so let me actually maybe have those crafting in the background while we are doing stuff. Looks like we need to have a total of... Let me see. Let me just add these up really quick. So 8 of these. No, not that recipe, buddy. This one. So we need 8 of these and 1 of those. It's going to give us 4 of them as a quest reward. So we don't need to make all 12 of them ourselves. But we're going to need 9 draconic cores, which means we're going to need 9 quantum eyes and 18 EV circuits. So I can go ahead and cook up the EV circuits. I'm also going to need like some ritual stones, because we are going to be doing the Mark of the Fallen Tower. I'll bring the ritual dispatcher with me as well. So for the Mark of the Fallen Tower, make sure I have some room in my bag for that. Yeah, this should be enough room. Really don't need these in my bag. Don't really need my head either. The rest of this stuff is fine. It's just kind of like mob loot. Let me go ahead and set up our EV circuits to go. How do we make these? Oh, and we're also going to need to figure out nether farming, I guess. That's not really too big of a deal, to be honest. Okay, yeah, this doesn't look too bad to make. We just need to do our nether farm. Not nether, sorry. Wither farm. Okay, circuit. We already have 8 of these. Let me just... Wait, not these. These are a different tier of EV circuit. We must have gotten that from our quest reward. Where's our... Why do I not see my circuits? What are they called? Circuit EV is called... This one, workstation. Workstation. Excuse me? Workstation? Where is our, circuit assembly line offline? Workstation is definitely in here, guys. What? Why did it appear now? I'm so confused. Okay, well, let's just make like 20 of these. It's gonna be a lot of stuff it's gonna need to process. But that's what we have automation for. And then while that's running, I'm going to go get our... Actually, I don't think I need to get anything. I just need a block of black quartz. So we're going to do the mark of the top... let me go to the magic chapter for this one. We're going to do these two mark of the tower summons. For the rock crystal ore, huh? That one, I think for that, I want to make a junk storage drawer, if we can make one, because we're going to get a bunch of rock crystals from that, and I'd like a place to put them and bring them. Let's see. Junk storage drawer. Bookmark this. We need a handy chest. Yeah, I know the chest isn't available. I'm trying to make everything but the chest, though, is the thing. Alloy basic. We need 2 of those. No crafting CPUs available. Why? What are they doing? It's kind of odd. I'm pretty sure that recipe actually finished crafting, so I'm not sure why that wouldn't have just been done in here. Gonna look in the input hat. Oh, phosphorus dust is left in here. What happened with this? Nitrogen, silicon. Uh-oh. So I was trying to make some of these, the phosphorus doped monosilicon buoys, but I put it in the 2 circuit, and I guess the program circuit 2 here stole the silicon. That's annoying. So we can't actually do these phosphorus doped wafers in program circuit 2. That's really annoying, actually. Okay, well, good to know for the future. If/when I need to make those. I had made them because I was like, we're kind of low on these phosphorus wafers. I should make some more. And yep, that blew up in my face. Here, we don't need these tiny ashes that were in the muffler hatch. Okay. No matter. So those never crafted, I guess. That's good to know. We can just cancel that job. We can now make our basic alloys. We can make our ore. I thought we knew how to make this, but I guess not. Yeah, I know the ender core is missing. That's what we're trying to craft, though. Like, why does it keep doing that to me? Basic. Make, like, I don't know. Just make a handful of those. Since it's gonna keep bugging me to make them. Yeah, my system feels a little on the fritz here because I am trying to craft that, and it's like, no. There we go. Okay, so I've got our core. Yeah, don't craft the piston, though. Like, what is your problem? There we go, jeez. Okay. Got in the memory chest. Now with the memory chest, we can make a junk storage drawer. We need another chest, apparently. Okay, there we go. We're going to need that because we're going to be using star metal ore as one of our catalysts over here. And star metal ore is going to give us a bunch of rock crystal ore, and we're going to need a place to stick it also. Alright, for the actual summoning, first of all, I'd like to make sure it's day, so we're not going to get swarmed by mobs. So let me get some drops of sunlight so we can change it to day. And then I'm going to put this rod away. I'm going to need a master ritual stone. Master ritual stone. Which needs 4 ritual stones, so that should just take it from my inventory. Okay, there we go. There's our master ritual stone. And then I'm going to also need my awakened activation crystal, and I'm going to need my ritual diviner set to mark of the falling star, or falling tower, whatever it's called. This is such a great interface, don't you know? Falling tower, there it is. Okay. And if you shift left click versus right click, it kind of changes your direction that you're scrolling, so you're not just out of luck if you go past what you needed. Alright, I don't want to do it directly near my base just in case there's some kind of catastrophe and it like misses what I'm trying to do. I will do it like above the forest somewhere, I think. This is probably as good a spot as any. So this should still be in range of my second Lucerna ritual, so we should be okay on the mobs, actually. I guess I don't really need it to be daytime if the mobs aren't going to be harassing us. So let me place this down and kind of get a refresher of what it looks like. Okay, so it does lay flat down here. And let me write my coordinates down. 1, 2, 3. 50, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to go up as straight as I can, and we're going to put a block in the sky. Oops. Let me try going straight. So I think the multi-jump will keep us straight as long as I do not move around. So the way this ritual works is that it picks a random block above the... This is not working to place the block. There we go. It picks a random block above the ritual, and then it just explodes a block of stone on it. So let me go up here, and I'm going to put a cobblestone here. Oh, I want my scaffold back, though. Hold on. Okay. So once this fires, it should go straight up and hit that cobblestone, which should protect the ritual stone and the ritual down here. So another alternate strategy you can do is that you can summon it, and then you can summon the ritual, and then you can quickly dismantle it and pick up all of your runes. But if you catch the meteor sufficiently away, it shouldn't break any of your ritual stones, so you don't really need to worry about it. Alright, so to activate this, I believe we just are going to throw that rush of energy, and then we throw the catalyst on top of it. Okay. And then it spawns up there in a few seconds. Here we go. Yikes. It still did some damage despite being over there. And we have a forest on fire now. Cool. Didn't break any of the ritual stones, though. Alright, well that's not cool, but I guess we deal with the consequences of our actions now. All of this stuff should be fireproof, so we're not worried about that. Alright, let's go up and grab our loot now. Alright, so I'm just going to get our drill, and we are going to dig this out. It's not going to take too long with this drill, so do not tune away. Let me make sure we have our inventory sorted so we can see what's what. And I'm just going to put all of this in our handy bag. Oh, and I also am going to want the magnet, so we can pick it up as we are going. Alright. With a tool like this is really not too long of a process to mine. Alright, and then here we go. We're actually on the last layer already. Oop, almost fell. Alright. This should break the rest of it. Alright, great. Wow, it is looking awful down here. I'll probably just do the same ritual again in the same spot, just so that we get more fire down here to kind of help clean up these trees, because I'm gonna probably be annoyed if I look at the forest over here and I see a bunch of destroyed trees. So, did we miss any ore down here? Let me. We're gonna pick up a bunch of junk from the forest burning as well. Great. Oh no. All right. So B we don't need. We don't need that. We don't need hazelnuts. Cleaning up some of the junk we got. All right. So that was it for that ritual. Pretty good haul, as you can see. We got 650 thorium, about 100 of each infused gem, except only 50 aqua. Kind of weird. No Terra either. What the? Ordo, Ignis, Aqua, Air, Entropy. Yeah, no Terra in this meteor. But alright, that wasn't really what we needed anyways. And then I'm going to go put a new scaffold up. Gonna go about up here, seems good. Gonna replace it with a solid block, just in case, I don't know, like, what if the meteor, like, just comes and just absolutely goes through here. So we are at negative 5123. That's exactly where we want to be. So again, I'm just going to summon this guy. This time we're going to use the star metal ore as the catalyst. I don't think we can use the ritual again. Yeah, so the ritual is depleted. We actually have to activate it again if we use it again. So I'm going to do that. Feel that the runes are not configured correctly. Why would that be? Did something here break? Let's see, really quick. Oh, we did actually, in fact, lose a rune. I see we're missing two, we're missing like 4 runes, I guess. I mean, that's not too bad. We'll just put those back. All right. Activate the ritual again and star metal ore. This time it's a little higher up, so we might not get the blast down here. Okay, we got the blast down there. uh, well then. Famous last words, I guess, right? Let me get some cobblestone so I can climb back up to my grave. Teleport halfway over here. It is up there though, right? Yeah, it's up there. I don't know why that got me. No matter though. All right, so now seriously, fell in like a random hole. Just gonna do good old nerd pillar to get up here. Here we go. Get my stuff back. Thank you. I don't need my head. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and dismantle the ritual now. Oh, whoops. Put the ritual stone back here for a second. Oh gosh, it's not dismantling. Okay, well. I guess Yikes. Let me not do that again. That was loud AF. Guess I'm just gonna dismantle it with vein miner. That's okay. Alright, so this guy's gonna be a little bit more annoying to mine. And I'm not sure I'm gonna do the whole thing on camera because now we have rock crystal ore in here. It's a smaller meteor though, so that's worth noting. But this is gonna fill our inventory up so bad. So let's see what this is gonna look like. Let me see here. Put some stuff away really quick. And then Don't really need that. Get my drill back out, and here we go. Yep, we sure do have star metal ore. Why does rock crystal ore need to be in here in creative mode? I mean, not creative mode, but a solid rock. Like, come on. I'll just fix that with the quest later. We clearly got the rock crystal, right? Okay, so let's put our junk storage unit down. Let's put our ores that we do have in here so that those combine. Now all of our rock crystals are going to go in here. We're in all likelihood not going to have too many stacking ones, but any that do stack will stack with each other. And then any that don't stack, we can just, you know, they're still just going to be sitting in there, is the thing. Then we have to go down for some reason, because you cannot put slots, you can't put rock crystal into slots you can't see. I don't know how that works, but sure. Alright. Okay, and then let's go try to keep my little platform, whoops, here intact the best I can. Alright. Put this stuff away. Apparently we had more marble. Let me put that in here as well. Yeah, I have no idea why this chest works the way it does, where it doesn't actually let you put items in it if you can't see the items. None of these are even stacking, so I'm like, I should have just brought a regular diamond chest. Alright. Alright, this is probably going to conclude all of the, looks like we don't need our fortune pickaxe anymore. This is probably going to conclude all of the mining we're going to be doing on this ritual. I mean, maybe if we need more thorium, I'll summon another thorium one. Okay, so now we can break this chest, and we should get it, and we should have all the rock crystals in there. Okay. Ooh, this looks awful over here. I might come trim down all the trees and then replant it, because I don't like leaving forests in that kind of state. Especially when we look on our map. Oh, man, that's awful. Alright, well, we got our junk storage unit with our rock crystal. So here we go. Now we have rock crystals for days for astral sorcery. That's the kind of the main reason I wanted to do that. We got some marble as well. Here, let me put the marble cobblestone to cook, because we can't use the marble cobblestone. So that's all cooked up now. Oh, I missed a stack in my inventory. Hold up. There you go. Marble cobblestone is taken care of. These infused metals, infused gem ores, I'm actually going to go ahead and process those, because I might need them. So I'm going to stick those over here to process. And then what else did we get? Black quartz ore, we do not really need. Aluminum ore, we don't really need. Star metal, we do not really need. So let me just put those away up there. How is our ritual over here doing? I think it's... Oh, thank you, Magnet. I did not really want to steal that from over there. So that reminds me, I forgot I came down here and I turned this ritual back on. How are we doing here? We're at about 500-ish of all of those. Demon Will is like going crazy though. It's because I'm pumping it in with the sentient sword. Let me make sure I have a void upgrade for that one. Actually, why void upgrade? We can just keep storing it. But let's see, barrel. Yeah, I mean, I have so many of these barrel upgrades at this point, I might as well just throw them all in there. Yeah, now the barrel's like barely full. Look at that. So our life essence took a pretty severe hit. Each of those meteors cost us 500,000 life essence. So we're at 50,000 now. I believe we're going to need some life essence for spawning withers, or killing withers specifically. I'm going to be using the Ritual of Culling, similar to how we did the Infinity Grain Farm. Okay, so I'm just going to have this accelerated every now and then. I'll put some extraterrestrial matter in there as well to boost it. And then here we will also boost the absorption rate of the altar. Let this wear off and then give it one more push. Alright, that's gonna let us have a good amount of blood to work with once we're ready to do our rituals of culling. I am actually going to need all of these ritual stones. Well, not all of them, but at least this pile here, the 45 pile. Okay, what else do we need here? We need to figure out what we're doing with the rest of our ores. I forgot about that. Okay, so sulfur ore is kind of just like a trash ore, to be honest. Like, we can just get sulfur so easily from other methods. And we can't put this to infuse with starlight. I guess I'll just go ahead and put it down here to process with the rest of our infused ores. Should be a quick process because it's not using the whole ore doubling system down here. Oop, I left a stack in here. Okay. Pitch blend. Okay, so pitch blend is something we want to work with. Tricalcium phosphate. Do we need to do anything with this? Just because phosphate and phosphorus. We probably stick that in here because why not? Marble we'll put away. Skystone we'll put away. Glauconite. What is glauconite used for? Nothing of particular value, to be honest. And we have so much of it. Yeah, for this, I'm actually just going to put it in our furnace. So pitch blend is going to be something we can only do ore processing with. So for pitch blend, I'm going to go ahead and put that in our system down here. But we're going to need to do some special processing for the thorium ore. So thorium ore, we could do ore processing on it, but there's actually a different thing we can do on it. Starlight transmutation. Yes. We are going to be doing some starlight transmutation, but we're going to want to kind of upgrade our facilities for doing that because what we have over here it's kind of poopy. It's kind of weak. So we don't want to be using that for what we're going to need. Let me get all this glauconite sand in here. I thought I saw this goes in a furnace. Goes in the infernal kiln. Okay, it doesn't go in a furnace. We're just going to store this. We don't need that right now. Put away the rest of my blocks here. Thorium I'm going to store in our system because we are going to be using it from our system. But yeah, next step I wanted to do is I want to make a celestial collection crystal, and there's a multi-block you can make with it. Let me get my magic book here. Where's the multi-block? Is it in here? No, I think it's in the next chapter, maybe. Here we go. Enhanced collector crystal. So we want to make this multi-block here. This multi-block's gonna let us get a lot more bang for our buck out of our collector crystal. So first we're gonna need to actually make said collector crystal, and then we'll be able to upgrade it. So let me go look and see what my current situation of collector crystals even looks like up here. We don't have any celestial crystals. Uh-oh. Might need to work on that before we do anything else up here. Let me go ahead and grab this, I guess. Blue is the one we wanted, yeah, for mana pylons. Yeah, we will be wanting blue gems. In fact, while I have it on my memory, let me go over here to the Astral Sorcery chapter and get a blue gem cluster here, because that's what we need for the Astral Sorcery thing. So we're going to need to grow some Celestial Crystals here. I had kind of forgotten about this step. We can definitely just use random rock crystals we have in here. So let me just take 3. Do I have a bucket or something up here? Do I have a bucket or something on me? I have a reservoir. That will work, so... So in order to do this, we are going to have to throw... What is the recipe again? I think you throw a rock crystal and a stardust, right? Stardust. Let me take some stardust up with me. So this and that, right? And these need to be sufficiently spaced so that the puddles don't merge. This might end up taking a while here, since we gotta, you know, wait for these to grow. That is the recipe for these, right? Let's see, stardust, star metal ore. Leaving this cluster to grow. Wait. Oh my gosh. Peepo talk text here. Placing stardust into liquid starlight and subsequently tossing a crystal. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that was it. And we can actually see now that they have put in here and they are grown. I think if we want to speed this up, actually, we can get our collector crystal and point it at one of these, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do. It is nighttime here, as you can see. Turn off my night vision. I'm going to just grab my collector crystal from over here. And let's go over here and... just stick it like here. I think it should have a line of sight of that block, hopefully. Here, I think, hopefully. Yeah, very confident. And I have the linking tool in my inventory already. There we go. I think it has line of sight in there, so that should be working. Accelerate that and accelerate this. Because, I don't know, why not? We certainly have the time in our time in a bottle. So we'll see if that one ends up growing significantly faster than the rest. I think this one's actually ready to go here, so... Are these ready? I forget. Do they... Oh, okay, they glow like that. And then does fortune affect them? I forget. Let me hit it with a fortune. So I got 1 celestial crystal. Definitely we're going to want to increase the size of this, so let me put it in that little setup over there to increase the size. I don't think this is working because this should have grown significantly faster than that one over there if this was actually helping it, so... Oh, and yeah, now this one is done too. Yeah, not actually getting more celestial crystal with our fortune there. We are getting more... Oh, you know, it might help if this was actually pointing at the sky and not the bottom of a combustion generator, but it is what it is, I guess. Okay, so this is just cooking away over here. That's going to take a while to upsize. I'm going to want to upsize it to be a fairly large crystal. So I might just cut recording here for a little while and come back once that is kind of done absorbing a ton of starlight and it is upsized a sufficient amount. I'm also still waiting for this one to grow. Here, maybe we move this over, like, here. I see it. I mean, I hear it just got a tick of growth here. Yeah. Okay, go ahead and chill in there. I guess no reason I can't farm more of these while that one is going, so let me go ahead and just toss 2 more of these in here to cook. Oh wait, I think I already put Stardust in there. Stardust and the rock crystal. Okay. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be looking at for a while. I'm going to... I don't know how many crystals I'm going to sit here and make. Probably not too many because it's manual and slow. If I'm going to be doing this, I'd probably like to do it automatically in some way. So I might think of a way I can do this automatically. I can think of some ways with integrated dynamics, possibly. So, all right, let's see if this, now that it's actually in the, now that it's actually facing starlight, if this one is significantly faster than this neighbor over here. I'll also accelerate the crystal. I mean, it is ahead in growth so far. It is now 2 stages ahead, 3 stages ahead. Okay, so I mean, that does seem to be working there. Oh, yep, it's done. All right, well, I guess that's what I want to do when I do it, except I'd probably want to use a, probably I'd want to use the multi-block version of this. What are our integrated dynamics options for this? We can do a fluid world exporter. That lets us place a fluid directly in the world. Okay. We can also do block importer and exporter. So block exporter would basically like mine the block, right? So this would place a block, this would mine block, this places fluids, this mines fluids. All right. World block. Oh wait, what's the difference between... Oh, this is item, my bad. That will pick up and drop items. We need the block version. Which means, oh, this is a... these silly IV, which need tungsten steel, which needs the EBF with the RTM alloy, which we can't get, so we're kind of SOL on that. Okay. Well, I'm gonna just sit here and kind of cycle my crystals, grow this crystal up to a bigger crystal, and then when I've reached a size that I'm happy with, I'm going to go ahead and turn it into the collector crystal. Because collector crystal... Wait, what are they called? They're called floating crystal? Okay. Even though they're clearly called collector crystal, but if I searched for collector, it didn't give me anything. This recipe is simple enough to make this, because we now have the resonating gems. But it is the size of the gem we use to make this will transfer directly into this. So I'm going to want to, you know, use a big enough gem. I don't know if we can upgrade this after the fact. Sorry, just looking at what all of this is needed for. Okay. I'll be back. You know what? I'm sitting here doing this manually, and I'm like, why would I do it manually? Let's just like automate it, bro. So yeah, let's automate it. I will use integrated dynamics to automate it. And I think with integrated dynamics, we can actually clean some of this stuff up. Like, I'm not going to need the scanner and dispenser. So let me go get some stuff I'm going to need. Throw that in there while we're away. So for over here, we're going to need something to break the block. We're going to need something to read the state of the block, and we're going to need something to power the block breaker. We're also going to need something to put item and put fluid. So that is going to be, let me see here. Fluid placer, redstone writer, block reader, and item placer. Okay, I think that's all of that we need for this setup. And then for this setup over here, we're going to need fluid placer, we're going to need item reader, and we're going to need item grab dropper. Okay, let's go and get those things really quick. So integrated dynamics at integrated. We will need an interface. I don't think we're actually going to need an importer and exporter, but we will need a world item importer and exporter. So let me make one of those. Okay, that's going to need a couple things. Let's just automate these recipes. There's the importer, there's the exporter, and then we're also going to need to automate these formation and annihilation planes. I would like the one that doesn't use the pure crystals. How about the one that doesn't use the pure crystal? Okay. Fluix. Plop, plop, plop. And then that's formation plane, and then we need annihilation plane. Okay, so these are just crafting recipes. These are assembler recipes. Are they EV assembler? They're EV assembler recipes too. Okay. Let's do pattern expansion card for our EV assembler. It needs to make the calculation circuits. I should go and just pre-craft a whole bunch of those. All right. Pattern expansion cards for our EV assembler. Now we can stick those in there. All right, so those are the item exporter, and then we'll need a fluid interface as well. So let's make one of these guys for the EV assembler, and then we need a fluid exporter. Okay. Also for the EV assembler, right? Yep, sure are. Okay, so let's make fluid exporter, 2 of these guys. Formation plate? I thought I... Okay, whatever... Oh, is that fluid formation plane? Is that the problem? What did I automate? I'm confused. Fluid exporter. Oh, because we need one more. Got it. Okay. So, exporter, formation plane. That is not what I want. Once again, Fluix, please use regular Fluix crystals, and then please use regular lapis for that, since we have so much of it. Okay, so now we should be able to make the exporter. Alright, so that's going to make the interface an extra interface for us as well. Then let's get item exporter. We're going to need 2 of these guys. Then we're going to need 1 item importer. My machines do be busy. Let's go ahead and craft and cancel that craft, to be honest. Now I'm like, okay, what did I need again? Shoot. So item exporter, we have an item importer. I'm going to need a redstone writer. That one's a pretty quick craft, I believe. a we're gonna need a block reader and an item reader. World reader, is that what we need? Let me see what this does again. No, this can't read. Okay, that cannot read the an item. What other readers are there? Audio, block, entity. I think we need an entity reader. So I need a block reader for the crystal, and then an entity reader for reading the item that's on the floor. All right, here's our block reader. And then here's our entity reader. All right, I think that's all the stuff we need. Let's get all of our things here. Some logic cables, a variable store, some variables, a display panel. All right, I think that's going to be everything we need. Now, hopefully this isn't going to be too complicated of a setup, but let's see here. So I'm going to dismantle this setup temporarily because we're going to be replacing it. Let's set up this side first. So this side, we want to clean some junk out of our inventory. Jeez, hold up. Okay, that's good enough for now. This side, we're going to want to read this block and basically break the block when it's the appropriate size. Let me think here for a second. I'm not following a build guide or a tutorial for this. I'm kind of doing this on the fly, so we're going to be reading this block. We can read the NBT off the block, and the NBT probably has the growth state on it. So let's grab the NBT here. Okay. Actually, that does not have the growth on it. Does this accelerate the ticks existed? That does actually accelerate how long it's existed. I wonder if the growth state is based on how long it has existed. But yeah, actually we cannot get the I don't think we're going to be able to get the growth state using this. Maybe this isn't even going to be possible here. What else can we read? Block. Maybe there's more info on the block itself. Let me see. Does accelerating this do anything? Doesn't seem to. Okay. So yeah, that's immediately kind of like uh-oh, we can't even read the thing we need to read to be able to do this. What do we get if we read off of the block? Okay, it's just a picture of the block. Like, does this read different, though, than this one over here? I guess would be the question for us. I guess we could probably materialize this. Let me go materialize this, because maybe we just need a copy of the exact block we want. So here's our materializer. And then we're going to do this in here. What's the problem? Oh, we don't have the part. Okay, we need to bring our materializer with us. So let's go ahead and stick this here. Materializer. So we are going to put that there. So this is the fully grown crystal. So now we can do a quick test here. So we have a fully grown crystal. And let me put the variable store over here. Throw that one in there. Let's really quickly test if the block, oh yeah, let's make a quick logic here. Equals, if the block equals the crystal. Should be yes, right? So obviously this block is going to equal our crystal. So the block we have currently equals the materialized crystal. So if I put a new crystal in here though, actually we're going to have a logic cable here, so let me just put logic cable down. Get this bucket here, and then let's throw a new, what's it called? New rock crystal and stardust in there. So rock crystal, stardust. Give that a second to solidify. Okay, I'm back. The crystal has solidified, and I have hidden my UI on accident. There we go. So we are now getting false on this, which is what we wanted to see. We now need to break it when this is true, basically, because when it's true, that means it is done growing. So let's... One second. Also, I wanted to look at the Sky Cauldron. So the Sky Cauldron does create a crystal of size 4... I don't know if it creates a crystal of size 450 or it copies the size of the input, because now I'm looking at this and I'm like, do we even want to do this since we have the Sky Cauldron? Maybe instead we want to actually make the Sky Cauldron first, process it in the Sky Cauldron to get 100% purity, and then we would want to grow it up. How's this crystal over here looking? Size 900 as well. Kind of looking at this and being like, how do we actually want to handle this? Well, this setup is still going to be valid for as far as placing and growing crystals. So let's see, over here we have a fluid extractor. Whoops. Fluid extractor right here. This is just going to tap... I did not mean to break the tank over there. Jeez, everything just breaks instantly. This is going to tap this over here. I didn't bring up fluid interface. Whoopsie. Fluid interface. So we can fluid interface over there into that tank, and we can place all fluids. That's what we want to do. So we basically want to always place all fluids. So if I put this here, whenever this is not a block, it's going to place a fluid, which is what we want it to do. And then similarly, we can do the same thing over here. I can get rid of this setup. I can get rid of this because that's not doing anything for us anymore. And since we're coming over here next to this block, let me go ahead and just clean that up there, move that on that side. So over here, we can also place all fluid. Let me box this in though, so it doesn't just spill everywhere. All right, place the fluid, please. There it goes. That's much easier than putting it in a bucket and then dropping the bucket on a timer. All right, over here, we're going to need a logic... wait. We're going to need a block breaker. So let me go get a block breaker. Breaker? Auto breaker, yes, this one. I think I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in here. Do we know how to make void crystals? Void crystal. We do know how to make them. Assembler, P2P, just toss that in there. Please give me a breaker of blocks. Okay, so I believe the block breaker, we want to use a redstone torch on it. Redstone torch, please. To set it to pulse mode. And I believe it will retain its pulse mode. Yeah, okay, so now I can put it down here, and it will not fire until it gets a redstone signal. So now we can put a redstone writer here, and we can tell it to, when this becomes true, we want it to fire, right? Because it should be the fully grown crystal. So that should be that as far as picking up a crystal. Now to actually place the crystal, place the items for a crystal, that's going to be a little bit more tricky. Let me think about how we want to do that. So we're going to come over here and we're going to use a item exporter. This is going to drop something that's in our storage here. And I'm going to need a chest of some kind. Ooh, blue crystal also. I'll take that. I'll also go ahead and grab this since it's done. Let me go get a chest from down here. Chest. We need some more wood or something. Oh, we need more mineral planks, apparently. I never taught it how to make mineral planks. Yeah, here's what you do. You just do that, and you go into the cutting machine. Which is not full, but that's fine, probably. Alright, make chests galore, please. Make half a stack of chests for now. Okay, this is going to be the tricky part because this is going to be the logic where I have to figure out how we are going to like get the item in here, right? I might need to go underneath and put a put like a reader underneath so that we can read that there's items and then not drop more items, because this is going to be like the hard part here is we need to drop exactly one stardust and exactly one rock crystal. So I think the best way to do that, let's wait for this to finish growing, and this is going to also test our growth logic that this works here. Okay, it is now fully grown. It should match the materialized copy, but it is not going. Oh. I mean it is actually going, but like why is it not breaking? Can this breaker not break this? Do we need to give it a pickaxe? Is that the problem? Hold on. Let me put this back to pulse mode. Do you need a pickaxe? Is that your problem? You seem to not be able to break this block, I can't help but notice. Maybe we can't do this right now, because if we have no way to break this block, what are we gonna do, right? Do we have any other block breaking mechanisms? Block breaker. I mean, I could try this random thing as block breaker, but it's disabled in probably in favor of this. There's also the long range breaker. I don't know if that's going to work. It also uses power. I don't think that's going to work any differently, right? Because that's just the same thing. Phantom Breaker, I think, is the same as the Breaker. They break and place blocks from a distance. Oh, and Placer as well. Yeah, if it's not working with this, I don't think it's going to work with the other one. Just out of science, I'm going to test if this block breaker works. Because I feel like this is a limitation of that mod, not necessarily of the thing I'm trying to do here. So how does this block breaker work? Doesn't really seem to have any kind of interface. Okay, cool. So does it work with a redstone signal? It can be controlled using a redstone signal. Okay, so if we have this in here, I'm gonna guess that's gonna shut it off actually, so. If we take the redstone signal away, it's gonna fire, right? So, okay, this is not going to be tenable because it breaks the, I mean, it is still tenable. Hold on. So I'm going to say, because we can't actually make this block breaker, I think it's probably meant that we are not supposed to use it, basically. Okay, so we can't really automate this. Okay. Just going to toss that off. We tried. When we get the integrated dynamic world block importer and exporter, we'll be able to use that to break the block. But for now, we can't really automate this any further than this. So, yep, that's going to be that. We can still automate the growth of the crystals, though. But I don't want to grow them until we have done the Sky Cauldron. So I think we're kind of just like done over here for now. Let's get our best purity crystal, and let's turn that one into a floating crystal. I still want to get it to size 900, though, so let's go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it back over there, and we're going to wait for that one to reach size 900. Over here, I'll finish the logic for placing the item in here later, because since the setup isn't even working, it's like, kind of like, what's the point? So for now, I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm just going to wait for this to go up a tick in size, and then we're going to go ahead and use it. In the meantime, I can go and assemble what I am going to need for the crystal, I guess. So let's go floating crystal. Bookmark all these guys. So we have the stardust, illumination powder, resonating gem, do you want to attune it to a constellation? I don't know what attuning it to a constellation does. But currently it is 4:20 a.m. and there's no constellation on our... I forget what we have set up here. Is this still Lucerna here? I think this is Lucerna still. So Lucerna's not currently out. I'm not really gonna worry about it. Just gonna throw those in there. Did our crystal grow? No, and I probably just interrupted it from growing, so I'm just going to, once again, cut and come back once that's grown. And since I'm up here, I'm going to just continue providing rocks for this process here, because might as well, but it's just not going to be able to break them automatically, so. Oh, actually, I have an idea that might work. I could like put a piston underneath it and then pull the piston, and that would probably break it. Maybe. I don't know. I would have to test it. I'll do something like that, like some kind of off-camera testing, because I don't want to be spending all episode working in integrated dynamics, and I feel like integrated dynamics is already pretty complicated for most people. So, all right, be back once this is done sizing up. Okay, should be good to go now. Yep, we are at size 900. It's purity 84, which is decent, and cutting I don't think is going to matter for this. So let's go ahead and make our collector crystal. I'm in the wrong altar. Wait, why do I not see collector crystal in here? Do we... Oh, no, does this need to be attuned? Can't help but notice none of these collector crystals are unattuned, so I think we do actually need to sit here and attune it. Gosh darn it. Well, I guess I'm going to wait until we are ready to go then. Put another one in here. And I guess we're gonna need to wait until nighttime is what I meant. Not ready to go. Ready to go is gonna get my dog excited. Okay, they didn't hear me. Good. We're safe still. All right. So I guess I'm gonna wait until nighttime. I am doing some other stuff off to the side though, so this is a good downtime for me. So I'll be back momentarily. Okay. I am back from AFKing a little bit. We have our ritual over here, not our ritual, our constellation currently lit up. So let's go ahead and let's just make this a Lucerna. And I'm also gonna go ahead and do that to... Didn't we have another decent one over here? I'm also gonna do it to this one right here. Just so we have two of them. For now, we're only going to be using one for our immediate next build purposes. But to have two, just in case, like, when I'm ready to make another one, I don't have to wait for, you know, the constellation to appear again. And we can time in and bottle this a little bit. You don't want to do it too much because it gets all a little bit glitchy if you accelerate it too much. All right. And then this one that I just made, I'm going to throw back in here to continue growing. And that's just going to sit there and grow for some amount of time. And this one is the one we're going to use for our floating crystal, which should now work, right? Oh, there we go. Thank goodness. I was going to be like, if it still didn't work. Okay. Go ahead and craft that. And hey, the crystal over here finished. We can go ahead and set another one up to grow. Ooh, 95% purity. That's a nice one. What are we doing to grow them again? Rock crystal and stardust. Right. Let me just put this variable over here since I'm not going to be using this for a while. Entity reader. I think entity reader we will probably have over here eventually, but for now I'm just going to stick it there because I don't need it. And everything else, integrated dynamics that I had made, I'm just going to leave it up here to use at some point in the future. How's this crystal over here doing? Alright, just sizing up slowly. Alright, here's our collector crystal. That looked weird. And hey, we got a quest complete from that in this ultimate, like, kind of, like the ultimate goals chapter. I'll eat some yogurt, sure. And then we got some more lenses. We have a lot of lenses. Those will be nice once we upgrade our rituals. You know, now that I have... Wait a second. What's going on here? When did this become attuned? Oh, I made it attuned, right? Never mind. I'm gonna need to look into... Oh, never mind. I was thinking, like, I want to make this stronger, but to do that, you need to use this actual multi-block that we're dealing with over here. Let me go ahead and get the stuff that I'm going to need to build a multi-block. Sorry, I'm being slightly incoherent here. Just grab a bunch of marble. We're going to need some starlight. That should be enough. All right, so I'm going to go build this multi-block over here where we had this set up before. And we're probably not going to be worried about those two fluids, so I'll go ahead and grab those. We can go ahead and grab everything that we had down here, because we're going to be using some slightly better technology. First of all, let's go ahead and build our multi-block. So off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly what it is, but I do remember that my inventory is too full. Let me put just a little bit of this away. Or reset that filter. Put that away, put that away. Okay, I think this should probably afford us enough inventory to be able to build what we need to build here. All right, so the base, I remember, needs 9 marble on the bottom. Was it 9 marble? Oh no, where's my dang book? Let's just go look at the dang thing. So we can go but layer by layer, right? So marble, and then that looks like an engraved marble surrounded by this. Okay, so this is 9 marble here. Then in the bottom, we're gonna have one of these guys. This one, an engraved marble. The edge is going to be ruined marbles. And then the corners are going to be chiseled marbles. Oop. All right. Next layer up, we put 4 more engraved and then a pillar. And then we put a chiseled. And then there needs to be an air block. Okay. So we're going to need 4 more engraved and then 1 pillar. So let's see. 4 engraved. 1 pillar. And then the chiseled, right? So the pillar, the chiseled, engraved on each corner, an air block, and then our collector crystal. And then we just fill this up with liquid starlight, and I think that should be good to go. All right, and I see some animation here, so yep, I think that's working as expected. All right, now what are we going to do with this? We are going to set up a quick little setup that is going to be able to do starlight transfusion on our thorium ores. So let me grab some smart cables. And I'm going to need some annihilation planes. Let me get some planes here. Annihilation plane, and then a formation plane. Not the fluid kind, just, sorry, regular kind. Let's see, we don't need to get this all the way over there, just close enough that our crystal can reach. Alright, I think our crystal can reach from over there, maybe? I don't know, it seems kind of far still. Let me get some more cables. Alright, this should be close enough. So I'm going to put an annihilation plane here. And then I'm going to put a formation plane here. All right, and then on our formation plane, we are going to put me trying to remember how this works again. We're going to want it to put thorium blocks. I don't know why I'm running away. Thorium. So thorium is here, but it doesn't work on... It doesn't work on command. Like, if we put the thorium block back in there, it's going to place the block, but... Oh, oh, whoa, buddy. Okay. Um, yeah, it wasn't exactly what I wanted to happen there. Um, Let me think. So it only puts the item here when we actually like push it into the system. So we might want to make this be a subnetwork here that's separate from our storage. And um and then on the annihilation plane, I'm not sure we're able to filter that one. So we might need to filter our storage to only have a place to accept the item that we're basically wanting to transmute into, if that makes any sense. So let me do this. I'm going to break this cable. Let's get a ME chest cooked up over here. And then I'm going to get like a drive, just like a 1K drive, a 1K storage. That shouldn't take too long to make. And with our 1K storage, I'm going to make like a mini subnetwork over here just for this. And let me make this into a drive. Let me go and I'm going to partition this to only store the item that we are going to want to make. So let's go over here. We want to make only what this turns into, which is going to be uranium-238. So 238. We only want uranium-238 to go on this drive. Okay. So we are going to throw this over here. Let's get our chest. So here is our chest. So that's only going to accept uranium-238. So when we put a thorium ore here, it's going to stay. Well, if we hook it up to our network, it's not going to stay. So let me get a quartz fiber cable first. Quartz fiber. This allows us to hook up our little network over here without actually hooking it up to power. And then we need to push items into this to be able to basically we're going to be storing the items in here, so we need to push the items from our main network into this formation plane. Also, I can go ahead and use my linking tool to hook that up. Oh, that transformed rather quickly. So we have one uranium-238. Okay, so we need to push our thorium ore into here. So let's use an interface. And I'm going to make it into a flat interface. And we're just going to store our thorium here, basically, via an export bus. So let me make an export bus. Oh, don't know why I'm searching it up there. Well, I do know. Do we have an export bus already made? We do not, so I do need to make one of those. And we're just going to set this here. We're going to tell this export bus to export thorium. So this is going to push thorium into here. It should place it, and then it should transform into uranium. This export bus is so slow. Oh my gosh. Do we have an acceleration card we can put over here? Okay, there we go. I just wanted to make sure that the acceleration card was as fast as it could be there. All right, there we go. And we are now making uranium-238. Cool. What are we doing with uranium-238? Glad you asked. We are going to be using it to get radon. So for radon, go back to our chapter over here, space chapter. We need radon to be able to create quantumize. So to get quantumize, I think there was a quest in chemistry actually as well for this. Here we go, radon. Okay, big quest. Let me read it off camera for a second. Okay, so this is the relevant part here. You'll get thorium, transmute into starlight with uranium, and then centrifuge into tiny piles of plutonium-239. So, plutonium-239 is what we're going to be able to use to create our radium. Also, why did this speed up? I guess because it turned nighttime? Can we speed this up further by... That doesn't actually seem to speed it up any further. So, good to know. Collector crystals you can't really speed up in that manner. We'll also be able to use the setup to do any other, what's it called? To do any other kind of starlight transmutation that we can do with starlight in this manner, but we cannot do with, like, the chemical bath recipe, which would be, let's see, thorium recipe. Let me look through these really quick. Obsidian would actually be an interesting one there. Oh, it sounds like it's sped up again. Sand we already know. Sand we were doing before for clay. I guess nether wart block if we would want a way to get soul sand. Though we can also just siphon that from hellish matter, which we're not currently getting. Moon turf, of course, we know that one. That one was very relevant to us. What else is relevant here? This is going into the dense ore, so these ones are not really relevant because we already know we can do these in the chemical bath with liquid starlight. Greatwood sapling, I guess. Okay. So our relevant things are going to be maybe magma block for obsidian, I don't know. But sand potentially, magma block potentially, and potentially another warp block, and then thorium and moon turf. And yeah, that's pretty much it for relevancy here. Okay, well that's gonna keep running. I might want to lower the volume on this. So this is just like kind of a vanilla noise, so can I hear this from my base? Okay, I can't hear this from over here anyways, it's fine. Muffler, maybe I'll make a muffler anyways. Do I have one already? I do not. Let's make a sound muffler really quick. Need to make a note block first. Alright, there we go, got a sound muffler. Let's just toss that like over here. Can't help but notice that did not muffle the sound. Is it too far away? Okay, there we go. I want it to be like as far away as possible, so it's not muffling noise that I don't need. Like, I wish it muffled my dog just now, but I guess dog wants attention, right? Okay, well, I moved that a little closer and give my dog some attention, so she stops being a little whiny noodle. Feel pretty good about that. I would like to get the uranium processing now, so that when we come back to the next episode, a bunch is processed and we can do stuff with it. Let me look at the recipes really quick. So, uranium is going to be... Okay, now the dog is settled. She was, like, not letting up. Alright, so we've got, this actually finished processing all of the uranium while I was doing that, so we can get all of our uranium out of here. I could import it back into our system using another channel here, but since we don't have that much, I'm just going to manually grab it here. And just toss it on the floor. Alright, can't toss with that. Inventory open there. Okay, and then grab all this. There we go. Get all of our uranium ore. That's empty now. Store the rest in here for a moment. And then we are going to need to process this down. So we are wanting to get... These are all uranium-238, right? Yeah, it looks like it. So we want to get uranium-238 because in a... Okay, there is this step right here in the large chemical reactor where we can turn plutonium-239 ingots plus some air with uranium-238 dust into... We get the plutonium back, but we get radon out of it. So that's our radon. This is how we're going to get radon. But to get the plutonium, this is what we have to do. So we have to centrifuge enough uranium-238 to get enough to put together 8 whole ingots of this. So we're going to need to get 9 times 8, 72 of these dusts at a 2% rate. That's going to be somewhere in the ballpark of 3 to 4,000 uranium, depending on how lucky we are. So yeah, this could be a rather slow process here, and it's going to be like a lot of ore processing we're going to have to do. So let's go ahead and get this done here. We're not able to starlight infuse this, right? So here we go. Here goes our uranium. This is just going to be going through our standard ore processing chain here. This one here, wash, thermal centrifuge, and then crush again. And oh yeah, let's get the uranium that is in here as well. Alright, that uranium is all set to go. I'll take this out so that can process the thermally centrifuge ones. And with this, we're going to want to centrifuge that. Now, I'm not sure what our yield is going to be from this. This is going to double our ore. And then from each doubled ore, let's see, let me pull up a calculator really quick. We're going to get 0.33 plus 0.33 here plus 0.14 here times 2. So that's going to be a bonus 1.6 ore for all of our ores. And then we also double it. So all of our ores become plus 0.14. About 1.75 times our ore from the byproducts, and then the doubling itself. So we should be able to multiply the amount of ores we have by 1.74. How many ores did we put in here? Like 600? So that should be 2.74 times 616. That's only going to get us 1,600 uranium dust, and that isn't going to be enough for that much plutonium in our centrifuge. So I might need to do another Mark of the Falling Tower. Let me go ahead and set a centrifuge up somewhere to go ahead and process that. We're done on this. We're done on this process over here for the chemical bath for now. So I'm just going to pick up the chemical bath. And we're going to get uranium over here instead. So let's get a centrifuge. It does need to be... Hold on, is it an HV recipe? It's an HV recipe, but it's really slow. So I'm thinking we do it in EV just to speed it up. And yeah, it's going to cost a lot of extra power, but it will, it's going to be cheaper. So, or not cheaper, faster. So there's our centrifuge. Let's stick it in here. I will go ahead and we can use that to suck up the uranium dust, which, whoops, put that in the wrong slot. There we go. Let's get some uranium stocked in that interface, and it should start pulling it in and processing it. Whoops, I did not configure it again. One of these days I'll get it. There we go. That should be pulling it downwards, and that should be processing. We are going to tell it to output upwards. That's only going to be creating a item, right? Yeah, it's just going to be creating items. So this is just going to keep going until, well, forever, really, but I will stop it once we have enough uranium. Okay, not uranium, plutonium. So that's all set up. That's going to be going for a while. I'll keep tabs on it between this episode and next episode, and when I have gotten enough plutonium, that's probably when I'll, be like, okay, time to do the next one. But for now, that's going to be it. We're going to do quite a bit of off-camera processing. And when we come back, we will continue the next steps of getting Radon and then setting up the Fusion Crafter. Oh, and actually, when we get Radon, when we get our first little bit of Radon, what I'll be able to do with this is make Radon chicken eggs, I believe. How do we get Radon chicken? Ooh. We'll need some plutonium and nebulous heart. You know, we don't actually need radon for this. So when we get to 2 tiny pods of plutonium, we're done with radon actually. So I guess I'm just going to. We're already at 1. Wow. Okay. We're already halfway to the radon chicken. I'm just going to make the radon chicken as soon as I get this, and we will have radon via radon chicken because that's going to be much faster way to get our radon going. The only thing I am going to need to figure out is how to get this nebulous heart. It says it drops from Enderman. I don't know if I need to kill Enderman with a specific thing. I can also use this alchemical matter infuser, but that's a multi-block. I might just go ahead and build that one off camera. We've seen us build these type of multi-blocks before, so. But in any case, this is a beyond our welcome point to cut off our recording here. Thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the series, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.